Horror movies come in all shapes and sizes. You get some horror movies that are straight up slashers, with some dude going around slicing people up. And then you get some others that are strictly psychological horrors and make you really think about the scares you just watched. Well, another fun subgenre horror category is the evil entity group of movies. These movies aren't necessarily possession movies, as that has its own genre, but movies that revolve around an evil entity going around claiming multiple lives without any demon possession taking place. This list here is going to be 10 of those great horror movies that are centered around these kind of evil entities. There won't be any spoilers in this video. That way you can watch and not have to worry about the movies being ruined if you haven't seen them. I will put the timestamps for every movie in the description below, along with the streaming services each movie is on if available. With that being said, here we go. Number 10, Final Destination 5, 2011. I think most of us have seen at least one Final Destination movie, and if you haven't, what are you waiting for? Really, I could have put any one of the 5 movies on this list, but just decided to go with the most recent entry. Although it won't be the most recent for long, as another one is set to be released in 2025. And if you haven't seen a Final Destination movie, the premise is pretty much the same for every single one. Basically, a group of people are about to do something as a whole, such as a plane ride or an amusement park roller coaster, and one of the people involved has a premonition that whatever they may be doing is going to go horrifically wrong and many people are going to die. With this vision, they manage to remove themselves from the situation and others along with them. But since they cheated death, death will want what is owed and will systematically remove all of those that should have died throughout the movie. They are a lot of fun, and seeing characters try to cheat death in many different ways contributes to the watching experience. In the 5th entry, the tragedy is a deadly bridge collapse that some coworkers managed to survive, but death will be hunting them down and wants to take what he thinks is rightfully his. Number 9, Countdown, 2019. Countdown is your typical campy horror movie that tries a modern approach to their horror and feels like an original concept, even if it might be another version of the story just tweaked a little bit. The movie is about an app that you can download on your phone called Countdown. I have actually looked on the App Store and there is a Countdown app, but I wasn't about to download and find out for myself. Whenever you download the app to your phone, it shows you a countdown timer that tells you when you are going to die. Of course, no one takes it seriously at first, because how could that even be possible? Some people get decades left to live, while others only have a few days on their timer. The protagonist of the film is told she only has 3 days left to live, but like I said earlier, she doesn't really take it seriously at first until a few others start to die at the exact time their countdown timer says. She starts to take the threat more seriously, and she will spend the movie trying to find a way to break the curse before this evil entity claims her soul. She better not break any hidden disclaimers though, or her time could be up even sooner. Number 8, Polaroid, 2019. Another evil entity movie where the entity hides behind a camera lens. I mean, technically, all of these entities hide behind a camera lens because they are being shot for a movie and you need a camera to shoot a movie, right? Bird Fincher is a high schooler in a small American town. She is a keen photographer, but is less keen on being photographed herself. One day she is given an old 1970s Polaroid camera by a coworker at the antique shop she works at. Bird takes this picture and notices a strange shadow on the image, as it is an old camera she doesn't think much of it at first. That evening, friends drag her to a party where she takes a group picture and her friend Avery takes a selfie with the camera. Later, she gets a call telling her that her coworker has sadly passed away in the store and the shadow is no longer on his photograph. It is on Avery's picture now. After she dies, Bird makes the connection between the shadow and the deaths. Is the camera cursed by an evil entity? And if so, is there a solution Bird can find to prevent their foreshadowed deaths? Number 7, Truth or Dare, 2018. A film that really gets a lot of hate, and while most of it is deserved, the movie isn't meant to be some masterpiece, and obviously it's just a good popcorn flick. The movie follows a group of friends that head down to Mexico for their last spring break before they graduate college. On the last night of their trip, Olivia meets a cute guy who invites them to a secluded place for an after party. At the creepy mausoleum, they play Truth or Dare and everything seems to be just fine. But that when they get back to school, they all start seeing Truth or Dare written everywhere. One of them is even keyed into Olivia's car. But when one of them fails to do the dare given or doesn't tell the truth, the person will die, as the evil entity will take over their body and kill them. Throughout the film, the group of friends have to figure out a way to beat the game, and if they can't, they will die. As the film goes on, some wild truths come out between the friend group that will tear their relationships apart, and if they can't set aside their differences and defeat this entity, they will sadly be cooked. Number 6. Wish Upon, 2017. What would you wish for if you were guaranteed 7 wishes, and anything you would want would come true? That's a lot of wishes, and I sure hope I could think of some good ones to be set for life and never have to work a day again in my life. But there's always a catch, and that is true for the 2017 film Wish Upon. Claire Shannon is a high school student that's constantly bullied by the popular girls at school, and she's also severely embarrassed by her dumpster diving father, played by Ryan Phillippe. Her mother took herself out a few years ago when Claire was young, and Claire is still traumatized by it as she misses her more as the days go by. Then one day her dad brings home a mysterious music box that he found in a dumpster, which says it will grant her 7 wishes. Claire decides to entertain the far-fetched idea, and then she's amazed when her wishes start coming true. Then Claire becomes haunted by the box, though, when people start dying as a result of her making wishes. Like I said, there is always a catch because your words can get twisted, and this entity wants people to make wishes so it can claim more souls and feed on the living. Number 5. Dead Awake, 2017. As someone who has experienced sleep paralysis countless times, I can attest that it truly is frightening. In my experience, I woke up but couldn't move my body, and there was a black figure standing in the room with me, and it almost felt like something was pressing on my chest. Not even kidding, it was super scary. And then I found out many others have went through the same thing. I kind of breathed a sigh of relief that I wasn't crazy. This movie here delves into the phenomenon of sleep paralysis and out-of-body experiences. The movie follows Kate Bowman, who is an average social worker who is investigating the mysterious deaths of people in their sleep. Shortly before their untimely deaths, the victims all reported a supernatural force that appeared to them while they were suffering from sleep paralysis, as I mentioned earlier. When Kate investigates further into the case, she opens herself up to the dark creature's wrath, and soon finds herself and her family suffering from an ancient evil entity. This takes sleep paralysis into a supernatural direction and an evil entity that is using it as a method of tormenting broken souls. Number 4. Lights Out, 2016. Lights Out is one of my favorite horror movies of all time, and I don't really know why. I just find it super enjoyable. It was based off a short horror on YouTube of the same name, and people wondered how they would make the story into a full-length film, but I think they did a great job of it. Lights Out is basically about a family that is tormented by an evil presence by the name of Diana. The mom was in a psychiatric hospital for years, and this is where she met Diana, who considered them best friends and almost family until the mom left. Well, now, the mom lives with her son, and Diana has found a way into their house and hides in the dark spots of the house, and can't come into the light or else she will burn like a vampire. Rebecca and Martin are her 2 children, and spend the film trying to make their mom feel better, because they believe Diana doesn't exist without their mom creating her with her mind. But Diana wants the mom all to herself, and isn't planning on sharing her with anyone, not even her children. Rebecca, Martin, and Rebecca's boyfriends will do anything necessary to protect their family and try ridding their home of Diana once and for all. But Diana won't go down that easily. She's hella creepy in this movie too. Number 3. Death Note, 2017. A movie similar to Wish Upon in the fact that the character gets attached to a supernatural book and is granted whatever he wants, but also must pay the price for the book's powers as well. Well, some people hate on this movie because it is a remake of an anime film, and anytime America tries to remake animes, the anime fan base rips the movies to shreds. They don't think there should be any US remakes of anime in life. At least that's what they think. I actually enjoy this American retelling of the story. The movie is about a student named Light who discovers a supernatural notebook that allows him to kill anyone he writes down inside and begins a crusade against evil in order to rule the world as a benevolent human god. He thinks of himself as a hero because he is only killing the people that deserve to die in his eyes and isn't using it to harm innocent people. Then a deadly game of cat and mouse begins, where a reclusive detective begins to track down the young man, attempting to end his reign of terror once and for all, because he doesn't think any human should hold all of that power and be able to play God. This movie is like a combination of Final Destination and Donnie Darko, which should tell you how much I enjoy this film. But once Light gets in too deep, the book and the evil entity will own him and make sure he does as told. Number 2. It Follows, 2015. It Follows really has a unique and original presence, which is surprising because the concept is actually so simple. A group of teenagers close to reaching adulthood has to deal with a sexually transmitted curse. The last infected person gets chased and killed by a shape-shifting creature 24/7. The creature is only able to walk in a straight line, but is always aware of where his victim is and never stops its journey and goes the same speed the whole time, no running allowed. Once it gets to kill you, it will start chasing the person you received the curse from, and so on. It is transmitted through sex, kills through sex. It tends to take the appearance of familiar people and is usually naked or in bed clothing. Makes you wonder how you would cope with the situation. I mean, that would be such a terrible feeling hooking up with someone, knowing that you're going to pass this curse off to them, which you just never have sex again. I don't know. If the entity is always the same speed, why not fly somewhere international like Australia? How in the world would the entity get there? Ride an ocean liner? Some interesting things to think about. Give this one a watch, though. Number 1. The Ring, 2002. The very first time I ever watched The Ring was when I was 10 years old, and this movie scared me so much I had to sleep with my parents' room that night, and anytime the house phone rang, yeah, we used to have landline phones. Ring for the next month, I was scared of picking up. This movie did a number on me, and I'll always remember the first time watching. If you don't know what The Ring is, the legend says if you watch this creepy videotape, afterwards you will get a call on your phone telling you that you are going to die in 7 days. And surely enough, the legend is true, and anyone who watches the tape will eventually die. The movie follows Rachel and her son, who have both watched the tape by mistake, and Rachel must find a way to protect them and defeat the evil entity known as Samara, or there will be no more. Of course, along the way, some will die, and you will even get to see Samara climb out of a TV, which is just so simple but so damn creepy at the same time. Highly recommend The Ring, and one of the best evil entity movies ever. And that is it for this list, friends. Thanks for watching.